Hello everyone, let's go ahead and take a quick look and listen on some of the material that we'll be learning today. And 1, 2, 3. Hello everyone, welcome back. Jim here. If you're new, Jim from Grassroots Piano. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today it is study number 4, and I'm just moving up a little bit. It's not super tricky as far as one study to the next. However, if you are a new learner, a beginner, you're gonna want to check out my other videos because this might feel overwhelming. You can still listen and get some of the rhythms, maybe one hand at a time. But I have some other videos and tutorials that are geared for beginners. However, if you've been playing for at least 6 to 8 months consistently, then you can get some value out of this tutorial. Speaking of value, if you do enjoy me as a creator and an educator, definitely consider hitting that like button so it reaches other awesome people like you. And if you think you're going to be learning a good amount from me, definitely consider subscribing because then you don't miss out for future videos. In this video today lesson, we are going to go over the basics, the counts, some technique. We're going to talk a little bit about rotation today, and then some tips and patterns, and then some troubleshooting that I've seen students do over and over again as far as making mistakes. So I'm going to help out with that. And then after that, there is a demonstration of me playing through everything. You're more than welcome to just listen to it or play along. And if you want to help the channel out, I do have a PDF available for this lesson. It's a small purchase, helps the channel out greatly. Thank you for your consideration. Now, let's get to the lesson. All right, I wanted to bring this up, kind of getting into a little technique here, which is really important because I have seen many students play this incorrectly, meaning they can correctly get the notes and the rhythm, but when they're working on this exercise, they're only working from this part. And we really want to think about a doorknob. We want to work on rotation. Even if you're new to it, you want to think elbow relaxed, elbow and wrist and hand are all aligned together. So I'm playing the first measure and I am rotating to the F major, E flat major, so just practice that movement. If you've been playing for a while, just bouncing or just pressing like that, you want to try to step back, especially that pressing, because you get very tight in here and we don't want that. So you're going to want to think rotation. Play a little bit each day and slowly get faster, but then also go back to playing slow again. So that is the key word, rotation. So this kind of works as a warm-up. And it's always good to apply some technique when we're making music so we can keep making music. All right, so now that we worked on the rotation with the right hand a bit, let's go ahead and look at the hand shapes, the chord hand shapes for the right hand, which applies to exercise 1 and 2. So we have G minor, and we have it played together, and then on the and, a single note. But after 4 bars, we have a single note and then the double note. It's good to get that down. I'll demonstrate that in a little bit. And then after G minor, we have F major, and then E flat major, and to D minor. All right, quick tip here. Get the chords down by just quizzing yourself. Take your hand away, find G minor. Take your hand away, find D minor. Notice I did it out of order. That is like the next step. If you can do that without thinking, that's a good sign. It's okay if you need to think still. It just takes more time, and as you spend more time with the instrument, you'll get better. F major, G minor, just E flat major, just jump around and get the chords. These chords are used in, as we know, probably thousands of songs and pieces. Left hand, we are playing octaves, and if that's too tricky for you, just play the root, just play the top note or the bottom, whatever you like. Here I go. Exercise 1, 1 and 2. We're thinking rotation. Think hearing both hands, even sound. 3 to E flat major. Kind of think about where you're going with the chord. 3, 4 to D minor. And get ready, now the pattern in the right hand switches up. And 4, and it's single, then double. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. My left hand is a little heavier now because I'm using octaves, so you want to make sure that you don't overpower. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then slowly speed it up when you feel comfortable. Exercise 2, let's go ahead and take a look at the left hand. I've introduced this rhythm a bunch because it's in a lot of songs and pieces. The first thing I'd like to do is go through the tricky rhythms first. So our smallest grid in this exercise is the 16th note. So we have left hand, 1, E, and A, then an 8th rest, and then we play on the and of 2, and then 3, and. Now let's take a look at it with both hands so we can see how it lines up. 1 and A. And you want to be able to feel that. Subdivide the 16ths first. 1 E and A. But we're probably going to want to play faster when we get comfortable. So you're going to want to hear this rhythm. 1 and A. So that goes together. Okay, so it's together, alone, alone. 1 and 2, I'll keep going. 3, 4, F major, 1 and 2, 3, 4, E flat major, 1, 2, 3, 4 to D minor, 3 and 4. And then I build endurance and I do that same pattern again, but then we go. It's not a big change. Small little variables is really a safe way to improve. Now we have it as single, and that's at measure 19. I'm doing that to save a little time in the video, and as you'll see in the play along, I go through everything. So measure 19 now, it's single, then to double. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. I feel the rhythm before I play it. And 1, 2. Trying to talk and count is risky business. And 1, and okay. So if you didn't hear that, I got this from a wonderful college piano professor years ago, where sometimes you want to hear the phrase before you play it or hear the rhythm. It kind of propels you and gets set up. All right, so exercise 3, things are changing a bit. Hand shape time. This one's challenging, but lots of fun. So the hand shape's not too bad, but our G minor is now down here. Okay, B flat, D, and G, using that inversion. And then we're gonna go to the F major. So what we did there, we have the G minor, and then everything just goes down, down, down. And then E flat major, we're going down again. There's a lot of ways to voice it, but in this case. And then for the D minor, we have A, D, F. That A's in the bass clef, not to worry. Just did that to keep things visually clean. But the rhythm, well, the first 2 measures is pretty easy. One of my first videos, I showed this pattern. Like a million other YouTube educators, because that's a very popular rhythm. However, since it's faster, I had the left hand be more of an anchor where it's just half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then third and fourth measure, things get pretty rhythmically interesting. And that's what's great. You want to build up rhythmic tension. It does such an amazing job when you're creating music. Just varying the rhythm a little bit adds a lot of flavor. So we're going to go to the third measure, 16th grid time. It's kind of what we did earlier, but it's subdividing on beat 3. So the third measure anyway, we're going to go 1 and 2 and, that's pretty easy. Then we have 3, E, and A, 4. And now I get to say this as an educator. I went over these rhythms before this study. You want to check it out if you haven't, because I purposely dedicated these rhythms in a previous lesson, so this would be much easier. I had to just put that plug in there. So measure 3 again. I'm going to actually subdivide the 16ths, so I'm prepared to play on beat 3 and 4, or mainly beat 3 that has that 16th note subdivision. 1 and 2 and A, 3, E, and A, 4. Now let's just look at beat 3. We have 3, E, and A, 4. Funny, isn't it? When you slow it down, it's pretty easy, as long as you know where the counts are. If you know where the counts are and you know how the counts line up with the beat, you're good. Now the last measure, D minor, a lot of fun here. We have 1 and 2 and 3, and then if you want, you can do the octave on beat 4. If you don't, if that's too tricky for you, you can just slow it down and practice it, but you can just play 1. So now I'm going to demonstrate 3rd and 4th measure slow. Here I go. 1 and 2 and 3, E, and A, 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and then we get back. All right, now I'll do exercise 3, the whole thing, one time through, and it will be slow. Here I go. 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. If you've ever heard a teacher say count out loud, it's because you're really orientating yourself with what's happening. You're sounding the rhythms out, the timing, you're seeing and feeling how things line up. Is it hard? Yeah, you're doing 3 things at once, left hand, right hand, and counting. But if you continually work on that really slow, you'll be better off in the future. Exercise 4, new hand shapes. We have this pattern. Our G minor's up here now to F major. And then we have 3rd measure, E flat to D minor. And then we have that idea again with the 16th rest in the right hand. So I'll just demonstrate slowly the first section. 1 E and A, 2. Now the whole thing. 1 E, A, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E, A, 2 and 3 and 1 E, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2. I think I left one note on the left hand for a second. I was thinking about something to say. When you're playing a lot of notes in the right hand, we have that 1. It's very normal for sometimes students to try too hard and get it and you're really driving it. I know this is kind of rock piano in a way, but you still want to lighten up your playing and you want to feel comfortable in what you're doing. So you don't want to overdo it because that's already a lot of sound. Okay. Exercise 5 is kind of very similar to 4. It's trade back and forth. So here I go, exercise 5. 1 E, 2, and maybe I'll play in the right key. How's that sound? I like that idea, but go and 1 E, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 E, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 E, 2, 3 and repeat. And four, and. All right, as always, let me know how you did. One viewer, I believe yesterday, posted in a video if you can write more counts in because we're having a hard time with notation. I need that information because if I get that information, then I can provide more value for all of you. Speaking of information, you might want to check out these videos that YouTube is suggesting because my audience is enjoying them and that's how we're rolling these days. So anyway, take care. Good luck to you. Happy music making. Bye for now.